Lots of nice new faces today, which is great. There might be some more people joining us, I'm not sure. Thank you for taking the time in half term and with all this lovely sunshine. Appreciated. I am going to pass straight over to Lisa. I know I've just thrown you in here. Unless people like to do a quick bit of introductions? As I say, we've got a few new people, but we've sort of kind of checked in. Are we quite happy? Should we just crack on? Is that all right, Lisa? Are you all right to do that? So
sure.
Yeah, sure. So Lisa is joining us from IntoBodmin, which is one of the community hubs based in Bodmin, surprisingly. And hopefully, because some of the conversations that came up in the last session were around volunteering and engagement with green spaces and things. So very timely. Hopefully that is some of what Lisa's going to talk about and all the other lovely things that you're doing. So I'll pass over to you. If you need to share, let me know if I need to let you do anything. So
yeah, hi everybody. So my name's Lisa. I am the venue and fundraising lead at IntoBodmin, and we're based at the old library, which is in Bodmin. So I've been working and leading on a volunteering project in our garden space around the back of our building. And Catherine invited me to tell you a little bit about that project. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. So I haven't done this for a while, so just bear me one moment. I think it's here.
that looks good.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah, perfect.
Yep, okay. And then I'm assuming I just tab along. So hopefully. So are you seeing, here we go. You're seeing a bit of a screen change there. Yeah. Okay, so I just thought I would start just by telling you a little bit about our building. It was built in 1897. It's if you haven't been to the old library, I highly recommend it. We've got the old library cafe that's in the building. It was donated to Bodmin by a philanthropist called John Passmore Edwards. There's lots of his buildings around Cornwall, mostly libraries. And then as an organisation, IntoBodmin took over the building and we renovated it more recently in 2023 and reopened our doors then as well in February 2023. So and there is the building has space to hire, hot desking, a community garden, performance space and a lovely cafe as well. So hopefully we're going to navigate. Here we go. So our values as an organisation are creativity. So we spend a lot of time using our stage and supporting artists and help them develop, as well as well-being focused creativity as well. We have a creative well-being group, Knit and Natter, social groups. So our values are creativity. I'm hoping it's going to navigate. Sorry, slight technical hitch here.
It's all good.
There we go. Collaboration, respect and responsibility. And so we care about the planet and strive to reduce our environmental impact. So last year we were working on our environmental impact report. So we are trying to put, obviously like lots of organisations, trying to put everything in place to really address our carbon emissions. As an organisation, our team has been carbon literacy trained. And one of our objectives was to try to reduce our waste and to utilise our garden space a little bit more effectively. And so off the back of that, I began a plan to rejuvenate our garden. So it's around the back of the building. These are some images of it last year, towards the autumn, winter last year. I started off making a little plan of what we needed to do. So it really was in a little bit of a sad state. Our garden was. Our raised bedding, our raised planters were falling apart, and we wanted to be able to utilize those in our kitchen to be growing fresh vegetables and herbs. We wanted to make sure that the soil was healthy. We wanted to improve our sort of bin storage area, our drainage. Our drains were not working as well as they could. Our hydroponics were not working as well as they could. We had lots of seating that needed attention and repair. So I made a list of the jobs that we needed to do, and tried to create an idea of what it would cost us as an organisation to really make our garden a workable, safe space. And also an environment that we could use for reducing our impact on the environment as well. After a little bit of work, it came to an estimated cost of around about £1,700, which I didn't have that budget for. So I created my plan in a nice little PDF and started networking and communicating with local businesses, some of which were unable to support us and some of which we're really obviously super grateful for. Travis Perkins donated materials and paint to us. Bodmin Nursery also donated soil and gravel to us. We had discounts from local pasty bakeries who were able to give us food that I could then use as a way of trying to recruit some volunteers to help me do all the work in our garden. So moved on then to start recruiting in February. So that was our one of our social media posts that we put out. I don't know if that's playing okay to you all. So that was one of our social media posts we put out in February. We also did communicated via email, support from Volunteer Cornwall as well to drive the volunteering campaign. We put posters in our building, contacted previous volunteers, and word of mouth as well to put in some support for the project. So work began in February and March. So we scheduled 3 weekends initially. There was 2 in February and 1 in March. So I'm just going to show you a little clip. So February and March was mostly focused then on cleaning and clearing. We donated items from the garden like scrap metal, and we started upcycling our furniture. Then in March, we started rebuilding the raised beds. The old beds were used for composting and for people in use on their allotments as well locally. And that's a little picture of our volunteers there on the left-hand side. Oh, sorry about that. And then we continued on in April. Then we scheduled some more dates over the weekend, and rebuilt a potting area for our gardeners to work off of. The potting area that we had initially in place wasn't fit for purpose. We had it wasn't very accessible, and one of our garden volunteers is a wheelchair user, and it was a really awkward height for him to get underneath the potting table. So that was one of my objectives to make that accessible for everybody to be able to use. And what you can see there is us using some donated pallets and upcycling them to create a new composting system in the garden to improve the composting system that we currently have. And this is some images of the composting system underway with our lovely chef Gio helping us to build that there. That is still coming along together. Like right now, we haven't quite finished, but we've just got a few more volunteering sessions just to get that all finished and up and running. We've got a new bin system in place. Our furniture is now upcycled and looking good. And then we recently had a storytelling bench, which is currently in our garden, and that's to encourage people to get a better understanding of the landscape around them, of the Cornwall national landscapes. It's got a beautiful map of the different landscapes of Cornwall, the different areas of Cornwall, and some beautiful depictions of Cornish myths as well, and that's currently in our garden. And this is all part of a bigger picture of getting young people to really appreciate the landscape and the environment, and to develop respect for that in their county. So that's where we are now. So this is a little before and after. It's quite difficult to get a real flavour of the transition in our garden, but it certainly feels a lot more inviting. Yeah, this is a little video of where we are. Yeah, it's come a long way, thankfully, and we've got some beautiful herbs and veggies. We had garlic being pulled out this morning, which we're utilising in our cafe. The soil's really healthy. Off the back of the project, we now have a regular home start group that meets every Thursday in our garden, educating young people around sort of growing and planting at home, and get a better understanding of that. So I thought I'd give you, sorry. I'll give you some stats of sort of where we've been. So we've had 24 volunteers support us, and they gave us 25 hours in total of volunteering time to try and get our garden up and running. The male-female split was pretty even, so it was 12 males and 12 females. Majority of those were 50 and over. And as I mentioned, we've got our weekly Home Start project that started at the beginning of the month. Obviously, we're getting a lot more people in the garden, which is great. We're working towards really increasing what we're composting and putting that onto our garden, reducing our waste, and upcycling as well. So we've also got a lovely, beautiful church pew that's been sitting in our garden, rather waterlogged for quite a few months, maybe even years. And that's currently in the process of being upcycled, and that will be coming back to our garden, and with a new lease of life from support from our creative wellbeing group, once the Droller Bench continues its journey on throughout Cornwall. So I think that's all I have for you. Oh, and we have, obviously now we have more opportunities as well for recruiting garden volunteers on a weekly basis. So we've had a lot of interest with that too. So really working on that. So I would welcome any questions if you have any at all. And yeah, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for listening. Oh, and just before I finish, sorry, we have Green Week next week as well. So really celebrating Green Week. We've got lots of different events that are happening in the building and in the garden as well, including a seed and seedling swap and a chance to have a conversation with our gardener as well, just to really drive that love for the outside, for the garden, and for growing your own seeds and seedlings. Okay, thank you.
Lovely, thanks for that, Lisa. I had a big smile on my face all the way through, actually. I did spot myself in one of the pictures, so I feel quite thank you ever so much for showing us all of that. As Lisa said, over to you. I know, as I say, we talked about volunteering and green spaces generally. I mean, that's what we're here to talk about. So yeah, any questions for Lisa? Any comments? Yeah, just jump in.
So Lisa, that was fantastic. So how you get it on the videos? It's a little bit difficult to know exactly how big that area is. Actually, I'm a bit confused, but perhaps you could give us a little, estimate of how big it is, how many people you could fit in there, and also, can you hear me, Lisa, or have you frozen?
I can. Yes, yes.
Sorry. The other thing is, okay, most of your volunteers are over 50, as we'd expect. How do you plan to sort of involve younger people and children? Because it's difficult to get younger people sometimes engaged in these projects.
Yeah, definitely. So to answer your first question, Timothy, then in terms of space, I'm not great at kind of giving a square footage, but if it helps to visualize we had little picnic, sort of garden tables and chairs. There's around about 12 to 15 of those spread out across the garden. And then we have about five or six raised planters, like bedding, and a potting area. There's a shed. We've got two really large water butts and our hydroponics as well. So it's a reasonably good space. I hope that helps to visualize it. I mean, obviously you're more than welcome to come and grab a coffee and sit in the garden. So in terms of getting young people along, as a building, we are really trying to drive more projects for young people as well, just to get young people through the door. It's tricky because of, usually we're open Monday to Friday when the younger people are usually in school. But that's why we're working really closely with the Home Start group. So that had this morning, there's some toddlers in the garden, and they've been like I'd mentioned before, sort of planting and setting up their own garden area. They've got their own raised bed that they're decorating at the moment, and they've got plans for what they want to do with the pumpkins that they're growing and the carrots and things. So I think that is the beginnings of, we hope, getting more people in the garden. For me, one of the concerns initially was where our garden was at last year. I didn't feel that it was completely safe for young people.
Yeah.
And so we haven't, as an organisation, necessarily emphasised, come and enjoy and play in our garden, but we are also getting some wooden toy games that you can play outside in the garden as well, and celebrating that kind of summertime and being out in the garden now that it's in a safer, kind of nicer setting.
And sort of any liaison with local schools. I mean, I'm thinking of older primary school children, or maybe secondary school, in terms of what you could do educationally to get them there, to get them into the space, and then obviously, um, I mean, you've got your stuff about local stories and local legends and a bit of it about the history of Cornwall. It's trying to embed them, giving them that interest of this is the place where they learnt about whatever. Uh, any schools you think that might be interested in and able to take a class there or something?
I think that's a brilliant idea. I personally haven't been interacting with the schools, but my programmer, who is Mimi, she's working really closely with Cornwall National Landscapes, which was who's commissioned that beautiful Droller storytelling bench that's in the garden, and they have been working closely with the schools around creating that a little workbook that you might have seen in the video, where children can. They place the paper onto the storytelling bench, and they can do a rubbing of the design that's on the bench, and they can write about places that they've not been to in Cornwall that they'd quite like to see. And it's just sort of, again, it's trying to engage those young minds and really teach them to appreciate the environment around us.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking here for the secondary school children, it's about, I suppose, trying to get that message about the care for the environment and the ecosystem, and the beautiful part of the world where you all happen to live in. But what about that in the context of what's happening on a more global scale and how it's all interconnected. And yeah, there's I suppose there's options to do it at all different levels. Encouraging teachers perhaps to bring in that and have a lesson there, or get a guest speaker, I suppose, or something that would take them through a certain part of the syllabus or something there.
Definitely, I think that's a fantastic idea. I mean, we've got Green Week that's going on next week, and as I said, we've got lots of talks and things that are going on.
Yeah.
But again, it is running during those school hours, so unless they're all homeschooled, it's difficult to get people along. But I think that there's a real opportunity for us to be talking with those secondary schools and trying to get some of them along, just to see, the building itself just has so much to offer, just in terms of the history of the space, but going wider as well, talking about our environment. And we've got some work to be doing around our messaging in our building as well, in terms of the changes that we've made in the building. They're small changes, but some of those, they could be taken, they could be used at home. So there's definitely some more work that we could be doing in terms of celebrating that.
You'll have to invite a few head teachers.
Yeah, definitely.
Go over the top. Yes.
Yeah. And actually, I mean, I'm not a young person anymore, unfortunately, but I mean, the building itself does lend itself to be that kind of, it's quite a cool space. I think, I think it is somewhere that, would definitely have that draw for young people. So, and then, yeah, you just push them through and out into the garden, and there you go. But yeah, nice. Thanks,
Age
Tim.
is all relative, Kev.
Well, yes, that's true. Okay, yeah. Well, I think it's cool, so therefore it is cool. There we go. Sorted. I wanted to ask a bit more about the storytelling bench. Who you said it's Cornwall National Landscape. So is that going on tour? Is it?
Yeah. So it's touring around the 12 sections of Cornwall's National Landscape. And Bodmin is one of those 12. I think it started at Trebar, and it's moving around Cornwall. And the purpose of the bench is to encourage people to take a moment in green spaces, whether they're in a garden or in sort of like a public gardens, or just a beautiful landscape, and obviously to see the stories that are depicted on the bench itself. It's made of I think it's like a sculpted metal and a solid, like a Cornish oak, which, so it's really beautiful, that in terms of the storytelling that it's got sculpted onto it. But it's also, the idea is to try and encourage people to to create their own stories and to really to write their stories in the little journal that comes with the bench, and to engage in their environment as well. So yeah, it's a really welcome addition to our garden.
Yeah. Nice. Sorry, yeah. Anybody else? How did that sit with you guys? Smiling and nodding.
I'm just amazed. I mean, you planned all that. I mean, how did you come up with the plans and the vision? I mean, that was quite a. I wouldn't know where to start.
Oh, thank you. It wasn't quite a sorry state, to be honest with you, and at times felt pretty overwhelming. We still have a lot that we could do to the space, and we are restricted because we're a CIC. We don't have a huge amount of spare budget for projects like this. So I think I just really leaned into like the wonderful community that is around us, and had really open conversations with local organisations, and said, like, you know, I have this project. There's loads of things I want to do. There's many more things that I want to do over the next year as well. I want to, one day I'd love to be able to create a well-being space that's outside, that encourages people not only to do gardening and be part of that outside space, but also being a form of therapy as well, that we can offer a therapy space outside. But again, it just takes planning and budget. But yeah, that was it. I created a project plan of what I would like to do with the space. I found concept imagery to try and help people to see what's inside my brain, and then I measured out the individual spaces that we had, and the bedding and everything, and tried to estimate what materials I would need. I guess it's sort of chatting to people as well. Our gardeners are an incredible source of knowledge, as well as Gio, who is our chef, and he's got a brilliant understanding of not only soil, but you know, what he can use and how he can make salsas out of peelings, and he's incredibly resourceful and is brilliant with his wastage as well. So yeah, I think it's through conversation, to be honest with you, conversations, and having a little bit of an imagination of, you know, a vision of what you'd like it to be. Yeah, and just a great community.
Yeah, I was. It sounds fantastic. I mean, had you ever done anything like this before?
I've worked in leading projects previously, and I'm from a creative background, so not, but hands up, and Catherine will attest to this. I am not brilliantly green fingered. I've lived in flats for quite a long time, so my knowledge of gardening and composting and everything is really limited, and I have learnt so much through this project, and it's been an absolute privilege to be part of it. We still have lots of things we want to do and keep improving. But yeah, we're really excited for what's next, definitely.
I think it's amazing. I think the whole thing's amazing.
Thank you.
Kate, you have a little hand waving at me.
Yes, one hand. I guess first of all, like a comment and then a question. Comment around using the resources that are in the community to just make so much sense. I mean, to buy a planter costs so much more than someone to make a planter, but then also the benefit of someone making the planter is that then they're connected to that space. So I just feel like it's really great how you made that all happen, and using the resources that are already existing in the community. Just one question around the sort of toss up between sort of promoting biodiversity and then also other sort of necessary elements of the space, whether that be food growing or play. How were they kind of balanced out in the project?
I think it's a really good question, and I guess my honest answer would be that it's inspired through what was already in place in terms of the bedding. The raised beds are already there. We just needed to adjust it slightly and shift things slightly so that it became more accessible for young people and for wheelchair users. But in terms of the biodiversity, that I really leaned into the gardeners and to our chef to get an idea of what works in that space, what would grow and where as well, in terms of like some of our planters are really damp and don't get much sunlight, and some are brilliant for raspberries and herbs and have attract all the bees and the butterflies. And then do we put our seating right by that, where it's quite busy with the bees? And it's just it is a little bit of a toss-up, and we're still figuring it out now. I think I'm massively appreciative to, like I said, our volunteers and the gardeners and lead into their knowledge to try and create the space that's workable but also usable for cafe customers and for young people.
And is it worth saying as well that you mentioned, obviously, help the support of the gardeners. The gardeners are volunteers, aren't they? They're which is phenomenal. So you've landed on your feet with them, definitely. Clinton, did you have a question, comment?
Yeah, hi Lisa. I don't think we've met, but lovely presentation. Thank you. I'm
Thank you.
the operations director for Transformation Cornwall, and one of the things that we do is we help organisations like yours get funding, get connected, etc. We've just taken on a development manager, grassroots. So I'll get her to reach out to you. She actually mentioned you to me this morning.
Oh, no way.
She's doing some research. It's just really, these things are meant to happen, aren't they? But she reached out to me this morning saying, "No, you're going to Bodmin." And I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm in a Teams call," but she wants to connect with you anyway, and I'll get her to do that. And then we can look at ways to help you. I've also got my own CIC. We've got our own community garden. We do mental health. We try and do a holistic project of mental health, good healthy food cooking, and just well-being and exercise. So what you said really sits well with me, and we can share some ideas. I don't want to take over the meeting because it's my first time being in this group, but I'll reach out to you outside of the meeting and we'll set something up. And just for anybody, Trora Norwich Hub is the name of I'll stick it in the chat. Sorry, I lost my flow. Yes, just anyone that's interested in this group. We've got our Meet the Funders event on the 15th of June. That's it, and that might be something, if you're available, for you to come along to, because you get the opportunity to speak to funders, but you also get the opportunity to speak to other organisations. It's a good way to network.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Clinton. Yeah, let's catch up after. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll if you can't get contacts, then let me know and I'll put you two in touch. But yeah, that would be great. There you go. That's what this is all about, making those connections. Fabulous. Thank you. Cheers. I think I've got the date for the Meet the Funders in unfortunately I don't think I can attend to that one, but hopefully be lots of people, lots of chats, lots of good chats. Okay, how are we all doing? Are we happy? Are we what have we got? Oh yeah, there we go. No, so thank you. Brilliant. Lovely. So it is a beautiful sunny day. We are a little bit ahead of time, but if people are happy, unless anybody's got more questions for Lisa or comments or questions for me, or anything else, I think. Go on, Kate.
Sorry, not wanting to keep people from their lunches.
No, not
also, as Clinton said, that this was his first meeting as well. This is the first one of these that I've attended, and I was just kind of wondering, how does it normally function? Is it kind of a space to network and develop ideas? Kind of what are these meetings usually like?
They are a bit of a mix. So I've only sort of taken over the last 3 or 4 of them. So this is the first one we've had a speaker at, which has been lovely for me because the people that do come know that I'm not a speaker, so appreciated. And I think we've switched them to every other month. So essentially they're fairly informal, as you might have noticed, although obviously Lisa's presentation was beautiful and not at all informal, very, very smart. The idea is it's an opportunity to share best practice, talk about what we're doing. So sometimes we'll do a bit of a round robin at the beginning. I think people were quite keen to sort of launch in today and find out what was going on. But yeah, so normally we do sort of a bit of a who we are, what we're up to, just very brief update around green spaces. Sometimes people come and say, I've got some funding and I want to talk about this and the other. So yeah, essentially it's a bit of networking, a bit of updating and going, oh, they're doing that. That sounds really interesting. When possible, I will get people to come and talk about what they're doing, because that will spark those conversations and chat. And I think the next one will be not next month, the month after, so 2 months time. And as I remember, and now I can't remember her name for the life of me, she comes quite a lot. She works as the fundraiser she's in the funding team at CFT, and she works with Trevilla's House, and they're Healing by Nature space there, and she asked if she could come and give us an update. So hopefully, what are we in now, May, June, so July, when I get the invite out there, I think we should have an update from Trevilla's House about what they're doing with their Healing by Nature, which will resonate really well with actually what we've just been talking about now. So yeah, outdoor therapy spaces and things has become a bit of a theme, which is nice. So yes, it's sort of evolving. I haven't fully worked out exactly what it is, but essentially it's to be led by you. And if you've got things that you would like to bring to the table or questions you would like to ask the collective brain, then that is what this space is. That's what I'm pitching this space as. I mean, if you want it to be something different, then let me know. But it's a combination of idea sparking, bit of networking, and just finding out what's going on. So yeah, very casual. Please do bring your lunch with you if you want to sit and eat as well. That's not a problem. It's very much pitched as a lunchtime thing. So there we go.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries, not at all. Thank you. Anybody else? Everybody all good? Do we want to get back out in the sunshine and have some pudding for our lunch or whatever it is we're doing? We all good? So I haven't got this as a recurring meeting. So what I'll do is I'll send the invite out again in the next couple of weeks with a little bit of who's talking when I've remembered her name. Apologies. And what I'll do is I'll send a link to the recording. So all the recordings of the previous meetings are on our YouTube channel, which has got a link, and I have now been shown how to do that. So the previous meetings are there, so you can dip back in and see what we've been chatting about. But yeah, essentially just an informal opportunity to find out what's going on around us, and hopefully it's useful. So okay.
Thanks, Kev. Do you want to put a link to the? Do you want to stop recording this one, and do you want to put a link to the recording, the YouTube channel in the chat?
Yes. I can remember. Bear with me because I don't know where it is. Let's stop recording now because I think we're all good. Right, we'll stop the recording, and then we don't have to watch my face.